live from RPMDA 2010 in Oklahoma City, and we're at the Carl Fischer display with a longtime fan, Chris Scialfa, and we're going to chat a little bit about how Chris got going in the business and the industry. But I know Chris not only from Carl Fischer, which has some amazing products that I use in my trumpet teaching, like the Arbans and the Clark Technical Studies and the Claude Gordon stuff. But Chris also is an amazing singer, and we get to play once a year at the NAMM shows in a band called Prince, with the letter Z at the end. And Chris is an amazing singer, showman, also plays keyboard sometimes in the band too. So Chris, how did you get involved at your early age in the music?
Early age into music was very simple. I have an older brother who was a big Elton John fan, and I was about 5 years old, and we were listening to records one day when they were actually vinyl, not CDs, and I heard the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album, and I said, this is what I want to do. It was that simple. I heard something off of that album, and it moved me, and I said, I have to do what Elton John does. And my parents said, well, that's easy. We're going to have to get you in piano lessons. You want to do what he does, you're going to have to sit down and work hard, and we'll bring you to lessons once a week. We'll buy you a piano, but you better sit your butt down there and practice every day.
Okay, so in your early piano days, it was probably very traditional.
Very traditional, classically trained. And it was a 1 hour lesson every Wednesday night. I still remember the time. It was 5 o'clock every Wednesday night. And it was a local teacher. She was a Juilliard graduate, very talented woman. And I would, with the exception of the lesson day, I would practice a minimum of 1 hour every day, every other day. Yeah.
Okay,
my
so
parents were very strict about that.
how did you sneak the pop music and the rock and roll in? Because if she was
right, exactly
classically trained.
So what I guess I was always a good salesman, and I sold my piano teacher on the fact that I would work really, really hard on the Bach and everything else if I was able to play Benny and the Jets by Elton John. So she bought me. I don't remember who published it at the time, but she bought me an Elton John Easy songbook. And we did. We learned Benny and the Jets, real simplified version, and of course she knew she was in trouble when I learned Benny and the Jets note for note in about 3 days, and all the other stuff took weeks to learn. But no, she was good. She played to my interests, so she gave me a little bit of the pop stuff, and she gave me a little bit of the classical stuff, and it worked out really well.
That's cool. So then, from there, what happened?
From there, and I stayed with her all through elementary school, middle school, and high school, and then I auditioned for college, and I went to Rutgers University, studied at the Mason Gross School of the Arts, and was a classical piano major and music major there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your whole intent was to come out of college and play professionally?
It was to be the next Elton John and Billy Joel. I learned how to write songs, and I sung a little bit. And I did it for a while. For about 4 years after school, I supported myself being a working musician. I'd work anywhere from 1 to 2 nights a week, sometimes to 6 nights a week, playing local bars and pubs and nightclubs, and I did it for about 4 years, up until the time I was about 26 years old.
Okay, and then what happened then?
Well, it was like all working musicians. You had your good months and you had your bad months. And I guess it became a struggle to figure out how I would deal with health benefits and how I would pay my rent. So I said, you know what, I'm an educated guy. I think I need to parlay this into a full-time job with benefits and maybe get on a career path. So I went through the New York Times classified section and found an ad for a New York City-based publisher. It was a blind ad, didn't say the company's name. And here I am 12 years later, and the company was Carl Fischer. And I've been there ever since.
Wow. So, and Carl Fischer is based out of New York.
They are. I'm a Jersey boy, New Jersey born and raised. And about 7 years ago, I moved about 1.5 miles away from the city on the New Jersey side. Yeah, they're based in New York. They've been in New York since the late 1800s, a 130-year-old company, and so it's a local guy and a local company. It's a good marriage.
And you're still involved with music, huh?
Absolutely. You know, I said to myself, if I could have a job doing music, I would feel like I never worked a day in my life. And I can honestly say that that's true, and I've been very blessed. You know, that I was able to play music, and still do, as a matter of fact, that I was able to play music, earn an income that way, and get involved with an established historical company, and earn a living that way. And you know, to me, I've got the best of both worlds. I'm around music all the time, and I never feel like I'm working. It's a good thing.
So it can happen.
Absolutely. I am living proof that it can happen.
Me too.
Yep.
You know, and then the cool thing is, Chris, sometimes in the interviews you don't get it, but Chris is an amazing musician, and I really mean playing
You're too
with
kind.
him. And good showman, and yet here he is in a print company, which is absolutely tracing it back to actually when you were learning Benny and the Jets.
Yep.
You were dealing with needing print music.
Exactly.
So from your early days of wanting to do this, it's like full circle you're involved.
Absolutely, and that's why I was always fascinated with print, because I was very proud of the hard work as a student, rehearsing and getting good at my skill as a piano player. And the reason for that was the quality of music that my parents and my teachers bought for me through the years. And when it was time to get into a career in music, I thought, well, why not kind of give back a little bit? I'm proud of who I've become, and print music was such a big part of that. So why not learn a little bit more about how those books, you know, actually came to fruition?
Yeah, cool. That is really killer.
Yep.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you, Pete.
It's always good, man.
Always a pleasure,
good.
buddy.
So we're signing off live from RPMDA 2010 in Oklahoma City.